Ben.
Marianne, what is happening to you?
Absolutely nothing.
Then what the hell was that performance with Davy back in there,
This house just... it's more than I thought it would be.
Marianne, this house is not yours, sweetheart. We do not own it, do you understand that?
But it's my responsibility for as long as we're here, isn't it? Please be patient with me. I need more time.
Some more time for what? To get more involved with all this? Marianne, the summer is almost over. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Of course not.
What is more important to you? The house, all this? Or us?
What kind of a question is that?
All right, I'll put it another way. If I was to ask you, would you give it up?
Give it up? Why?
Marianne, what if I hadn't reached Davy in time?
What has that got to do with this house? Or with leaving? Ben, I can't believe you're serious.
Oh, I am serious, Marianne. I am.
Do you know how ridiculous you're sounding? Are you actually trying to tell me that this house is responsible?
Would you give it up for me? I mean, even if you thought it was in my head, in my mind. Would you? Would you? Will you answer me?
I've been waiting for you, Ben.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
That movie scared the hell out of me as a kid. How many of you saw that movie? Do you remember the hearse driver? It was the creepiest.
That really scared kids. That hearse driver was just like this, the great symbol of hell or something.
Yeah,
I mean, people really got upset about that guy.
We actually had a neighbor that looked just like him,
Oh.
John Lamoureux.
Lucky her.
And he wore the black sunglasses, and he was a very shy, gentle man, but so we never got to know him. And then he would drive by, all his kids would be playing out on the street, and he would drive by and just do sort of the smile that the guy does in the movie. Children screaming, probably, destroyed this man's life, but anyway. Aaron, I want to hear about Betty Davis. What was it like to work with her?
Oh, yeah. No, because I was remembering another story when I saw that last scene, but I would get to that. No, she was very entrancing to work with as an actor. And I do believe it's the only time I ever lost it on a set, in the sense that I wasn't doing my part. I wasn't doing my part, and I wasn't in the scene. I wasn't imagining anything properly. I wasn't the character. What am I doing? What's wrong? I realized that she was talking to me as her character, and I was just watching her act. She was so good, I forgot to act myself. We would have long conversations, and it was very interesting about our lives. We had a lot of things in common, We had trouble with studios, and we were aware that people had rumors about us that weren't true, and we'd go to Europe and hear a rumor, and we had just we commiserated, I guess, together. And she was an electric being. And the other story is that I was quite pregnant making that movie. I was 4 or 5 months pregnant. And they never could get me to be Allardyce, Mrs. Allardyce, because I had a very nice chin, and they couldn't. And they would put. I'd spend days with this, with what do you call that? That a prosthetic here, like to do that, and then they'd come and try to do eyes, and ridiculously they'd give me red eyes, but of course I have green eyes, and that makes brown, so that's not very interesting. So they couldn't do it, and they kept, and I'd be pregnant and kind of having to, it'd be the morning, and I'd be sipping on yogurt, and they'd be putting all this stuff on my face. It never worked. And finally they got, I think his name is Dick Smith, to fly in from New York. Incredible guy. And he just said to me, what happens to your character? No one had said that to me. And I said, well, she's gone. She ain't there anymore. He said, well, then let's put powder blue. And he just put the same things here and here that they had for the little girl whose head goes around and she vomits green. You love this story, don't you? This is the vomit green head going around. Yes. So that, the same kind of, yes, thank you, the same thing. That's all he did. And so there I was, and it was much later. I was extremely pregnant, and I was sitting in LA and trying to think how to be angry. And I just kept imagining that somebody had my baby, you know, I'm almost ready to deliver, lady, thinking about my baby, if you do anything to my baby. That's how I played the scene.
It worked.
Okay.
It really scared me. No, and that movie was rated PG. I mean, that's crazy. You know? And in the 70s, that meant G. And an R-rated movie, you just got the adult in front of you, buy your ticket. That was my secret. I'm going to skip that, but I'll tell you that later.
Skipping.
Okay. In 1982, you did another...
Are you going to do this one?
Do you want me to tell this story? Bruce Valanche told me a story.
Sure.
Okay, I'll quickly tell it.
I know Bruce.
Valanche told me a story that you were in a 1980 film with Richard Gere called Breathless.
Oh, yeah.
And...
For 3 minutes.
Yes, and he said, though, that, that they cut most of your part out because you were so brilliant that when the scene was over, the test audience no longer cared about Richard Gere's character. This was such an asshole to you, so they cut your part out. And he said, and that is the danger of being a really great actress in Hollywood. He just told this story the other day. He said your performance was, it would have got you another Oscar nomination. He said you were so brilliant.
Well, I loved that story. And it is true. Except I remembered it incorrectly, or Bruce did.
Oh.
What I remembered was that it made the leading lady look like she should be sweeter and wasn't, or something.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. You were incredible.
Thank you.
But in 1982, you did another film with Robert Altman that had a huge impact on me called Come Back to the Five and Dine, Jimmy Dean. And I'm not sure if this is accurate, but I'm, you know, whether or not you were the first, the character was the first transsexual in film.
I've never done the research. I've been told it several times.
Well, let's just pretend it was.
Okay, let's do it.
Trailblazer.
And I got 2 Academy Awards. And why aren't you laughing? That was pretty funny.
Well, you did the Broadway show, and you and then you did this film with
yes,
Sandy
and he
Dennis.
just exact same cast, by
Yes.
the way, because he's
Cher.
he's like that.
Kathy
was.
Bates.
Yes.
Sudie Bond.
Sudie Bond.
Sudie Bond is genius.
Yes.
And in this scene, there's a recall where her, as a boy, Joe, is recalling a bashing that took place in a cemetery.
Okay.
And Sudie Bond's character, you have just accused her husband of standing in the cemetery watching it, you know, supporting this basically.
Right.
And this is the scene when we come back into the present where Sudie is denying this, that her husband would have done that.
Okay.
So we'll watch that
Okay.
scene. You play the character of Joanne.
Sidney was in Waco that day. He wasn't even around.
He was there. Geez, I wish I had something to drink around here.
Yeah, come on, y'all. Let's get on with this party. You know, it's hotter than hell, and I need me a cold beer.
Where do you have beer?
Luke is keeping a case cold for me in his cooler, Juanita.
Well, you ain't bringing beer in here.
Could you just, turn off God for tonight and have yourself a good time?
Well, I won't have a good time as long as he is in here.
She.
Oh, you are not a she. You're only pretending to be one, just like you always did.
Look.
Oh,
Oh, my Lord.
Come
What
on,
in the hell is
Juanita.
that? What did he do?
Take a look at them. One.
There's no strawberry jello in those boobs anymore.
Joe, stop it. Stop it. I thought it was funny back then. It's not funny
Oh,
anymore.
hell, Mona, he's just pulling her leg, ain't you, Joe?
I'm not Joe, sissy. I'm Joanne.
What do you mean?
Joanne.
I mean that, unlike, apparently, all of you, I have undergone a change.
You mean that all of this is for real?
Holy shit.
No, please.
I don't believe it.
You're kidding me.
Oh, my God! No! I swear, my God!
That's
Good God,
disgusting.
Mom, the wonders of modern science.
It's amazing!
That's really a disgusting
I
thing to
cannot
do.
believe this. You're kidding.
Holy shit, I seen things like you on the TV before, but I never saw one at real close.
You're just one of them perverts. That's what you are.
Well, that's what you always thought I was, Juanita.
Time sure does play crazy tricks on you. Well, Joe, how long have you been this way?
13 years come January. My mama died, you know. And she left a bundle of insurance money, and with it I became what she really wanted all along. Ironic, don't you think?
Just makes me sick to my stomach, that's what.